wanted to talk about ghost movies that I feel like we would both like. Okay. I definitely like these films, and we seem to have similar sensibilities when it comes to horror and what we typically would like in maybe a better than usual ghost movie. And I picked a few out here, and I want to hear also what the chat's opinion is on some of these films. And some of these are older, some of these are more recent, but there's a couple I'm like, these really stand out because they kind of went against the grain of a lot of ghost movies, and they beat back those tropes, and I think they told a fairly interesting story. So one of the first ones is, I think it's an iconic one. I think it kind of established this filmmaker. He was called the next Spielberg.
Oh, no.
Someone got hurt.
They did?
A lady standing next to my window.
Are you for real?
I wish he had a black mama. Boy, I ain't playing with you.
They get mad. It gets cold.
With the smoking? Ooh, I'm seeing some crazy shit, Bruce Willis.
This kid, he's going to be the next thing. He's going to be the next Ed Norton. We're going to see him at every Oscar. He's going to be doing nothing but hit movies. And wow, we just could not have been more wrong.
The Sixth Sense, like if you want to see, and it's funny, this is a ghost movie that's PG-13. Like it's not rated R. And it shows like, hey, you can actually have like a really scary ghost horror, haunted house film and not have it be a rated R film, like, or have filled with copious amounts of swear words or gore and everything like that. M. Night Shyamalan was just so effective telling the story of this kid, and you felt so sorry for him. And even that initial scene when to your point earlier, you're right, in broad goddamn daylight, and he's just going on about the woman, she's right outside your window, and she's like, what? Talking about. Yeah. It's like that worked really well. So no, The Sixth Sense is an absolute classic. Speaking of classics, another film which has a very interesting history, controversial history, depending on the debate and who actually directed it. Okay. But this is one of my favorite ghost films because it's set in a place you wouldn't think would be ever haunted.
A young couple live in it.
Give Ken a kiss.
You are so
hot. Sound like goddamn Daffy Duck. little weird.
Well, who did you mean? Who's here?
TV people.
Something's...
Now, the one thing I will say, because this is Poltergeist, of course.
Yeah.
It's a classic 1982 haunted house film, produced by Steven Spielberg, directed by Tobe Hooper. They go back and forth, like, who actually directed this. At the time, Tobe Hooper, of course, famous for directing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Sure.
A number of other films. He had a substance abuse problem. And there was a back and forth on set. People say, like, oh, he was out of his fucking mind.
Oh, wow.
And Steven actually had to come in when he was doing E.T. to, like, film this movie.
Yeah.
At times. But there's so much misinformation back. Other actors say, no, Steven was there occasionally to see it's his movie, has his name on it. He wants to make sure it's with Amblin Entertainment, which he just established not that long. And other, he was just there, very hands off. Other people were like, "No, he directed me in scenes." Well, Tobe Hooper was in the back with a hangover. Oh, if you guys have never seen Poltergeist, it has a American California family, which even like ghosts are haunting shit in California it's a suburb, which was unheard of. It's like, oh, it's the safest place to be.
Sure,
but hey, when you build a house in an Indian burial ground, they're gonna get pissed. All right, you got to bring in a lot of different cast of characters to help you out with that. So
I don't know what hovers over this house.
It's not just, hey, let's stare at something for 10 minutes so that a chair could move 6 inches and go.
And you know what? They had a moving chair in that scene or in the movie, but how they do it, it's like, holy shit, this is just so weird. This next one, you guys have heard me talk about this many times, this series, even the TV spinoff, but no, I mean, everyone has to check out this horror and horror comedy series. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's like, okay, we're up in the ante. Rapey trees, that's what we're going with. What do we got? Okay, that's what we're going to do. But no, Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead, which put him on the map and established a cult franchise, one that I'm proud to be a part of. And yeah, it's like, yes, the series eventually went more comedic with Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness and the Ash vs. the Evil Dead. But the original Evil Dead film, that's very much a horror film.
Never seen it.
You've never seen the original? Have you seen any of the Evil Dead movies?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love 2. I was at a friend's house and he was putting it on and I was like, some schlock horror movie. And then was watching it and I'm laughing and I'm scared and it's like, this is the greatest movie ever.
Yeah, wow.
I was super excited. So
Interesting.
so that when 3 came out and it was right around my birthday, I got a bunch of friends to go watch that, and I sat there and I went, I'm so sorry, guys. I hate this movie. I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
That's when it went full schlock, campy. Yeah,
but
I get it.
the Ash versus Evil Dead TV series, which felt so much like Evil Dead 2, I love that.
Yeah, there's some creative segments, and hey, if you love body horror, which I know you do, I do. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff to appreciate about in this film. Mirror bitch. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. A lot of, again, it's, Evil Dead 2 adapts certain things from this movie. It does more and more sensibilities. But no, I really do recommend checking out this film.
Okay.
I think you'll dig it. Now, people are like, all right, I'm done of all this old shit. This is like from the 80s, 1999. That was like 40 years ago. It's like, I want to see some new ghost movies. And I'm like, okay, I got one for you. It's actually someone that we were talking about earlier. This, I think, was his first film, what brought him to prominence. And that's David F. Sandberg's Lights Out. Huh. Oh. Gotcha, bitch. Stop doing that. That's annoying. But no, David F. Sandberg's Lights Out. And listen, he also directed Annabelle 2 Creation, which I think is one of the best Conjuring films. And you even said you liked it. But the whole concept is it's a ghost that fears light, basically. So if you have light around you, you'd be able to fight against it, protect yourself, protect your family. Now, what's cool about this movie is you have this entity, this demon, that is somehow attached itself to a member of the household who is actually like mentally ill. And the family's just had it up to here with them. Just fucking done. And what's cool about it is, and like how they treat it, it's like, the mom's like, nah, she's like our friend and shit. It's like, it's not our friend, Mom. We want to get out of here. And everyone in the film is competent. Like, there's not a single dumb character in this movie, even with the mother character who's mentally ill, who's befriended this entity, and they explain, like, how that came to be. Now it's like, okay, you're doing all these live-action films, all these films that are distinctly scary. What about something for the kids? Let's get a haunted house film for the kids,
Okay.
And I think people will like this. I think you love this movie. So, without further ado, here's a Monster House. Holy shit. No, I love this film, and I think it's so underappreciated because so many people have forgotten about it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because we talk about films that aren't Spielberg but are.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, precocious kids got to investigate a spooky house, a crazy neighbor.
In their suburbs and all this. Yeah, it's throughout this film, it's so Spielberg it hurts. I mean, they should be cutting him a check.
Using all of his typical tropes.
But yeah, no, I did love this movie. I bought it. I used to watch it all the time.
But now we got to get to, I think, arguably is one of the most iconic haunted house movies of all time. It had a director who, people say changed cinema.
Killed his family with an axe.
Well, you can rest assured, Mr. Ullman, that's not going to happen.
When you have Jack Nicholson telling you that, I don't believe you at all. Look at that face.
Look at those eyebrows.
I know. It's so much. I'm obviously evil. No, man, The Shining, which you actually seen relatively recently, like in the past 2 years. But no, I mean, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which originally when it came out, kind of got middling reviews, very mixed reviews. But now it's looked at as an absolute classic.
All the time.
Yeah, underappreciated for its time. But what's so cool about this is it's about a broken family, and a family that was already sick and messed up to begin with. Even before they got there, the ghosts are just like, oh, it's this fucking smorgasbord, and it's like, this is
going to be easy. I have a question about this movie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there ever going to be a show where you don't find a way to crowbar it into it? I was like,
wow, what'd I do?
If there's any excuse to mention The Shining, you take it and run.
What other show have I done? And then we talked about it.
If you can't talk about it, you're going to wear your shirt with The Shining.
I was thinking of wearing that shirt. Like, I've worn this a lot. I'm going to wear the groovy Evil Dead shirt.